New Statistics Canada provincial GDP numbers are out, and guess what? Alberta's economy shrank by 3.8% in 2016, which is astonishing because it's worse than 2015's 3.7% contraction. As in, everything the NDP has done to make the bad situation in Alberta better has actually made it even worse. Now, who could have predicted that? I mean, besides me and you and the Wild Rose and the PCs and the business community and farmers and every other normal person. The last time the GDP fell for 2 consecutive years in Alberta was 1982-1983. Remember what was happening back then? How could we forget? It's part of the collective psyche of Alberta. The NDP have managed to be so ridiculously inept at running Alberta that they've recreated the results of Pierre Trudeau's catastrophic national energy program of 1982-1983. Imagine being that awful and still thinking you're doing a good job. You've just imagined Rachel Notley. Now, this seems bad, and it is bad. And actually, it's even worse when you put the NDP's failure to manage the economy in context with our provincial neighbours. Let's just look at BC. They're open for business, increasing their GDP the most in the country, 3.1% in 2015 and 3.7% in 2016. Wow, they grew as much as Alberta declined. What could the difference be? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the NDP, in case you're living in BC and needed yet another reason not to vote for Horgan and the NDP. Oh, but now you're saying, Sheila, Alberta is more dependent on oil than BC. Yes, I know. So I have another comparison that can help you understand how bad the NDP have failed Alberta with regard to the GDP. Let's look east. Here's Saskatchewan. As a portion of its economy, it actually relies more on natural resources and oil than Alberta does, by about 3 extra percent. So Saskatchewan should be hit way harder by the downturn in oil and gas than Alberta, right? Oh no. Saskatchewan's economy shrank by only 1% in 2016, which is an improvement over the 1.3% contraction seen in 2015. Why? Because they're doing the opposite of what the NDP are doing in Alberta. Saskatchewan is rolling public sector wages back by 3.5%, squaring off against public sector unions, just like Ralph Klein did, while the NDP in Alberta is sucking up to them. Saskatchewan is looking to increase private sector ownership in Crown corporations, while Alberta is actually looking to renationalize hospital lab services and hospital laundromats. Saskatchewan cut spending to the 3 biggest tax burglars in government: health, education, and social services, to get spending under control. Whereas the NDP here keep increasing spending on those same ministries every single year with no regard for those who will have to pay it back and with no demand for increased performances in those ministries. Oh, and I almost forgot, and it's just so obvious, Saskatchewan has no carbon tax. So investment there just makes sense. Why pay more to do business in a province where there's a war on your business when you can just do business in Saskatchewan? Easy peasy. You can't grow the economy from the heart outward, and you cannot grow the economy by taxing it to death and then spending yourself into the poorhouse. But that doesn't mean the NDP in Alberta are going to change their course. Actually, expect more of the same. Because every socialist thinks the time they try socialism is the time they'll get it right. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. At The Rebel, we bring you a ton of Canadian content, and unlike the CBC, we don't take a penny in taxpayer dollars to do it. To never miss a story, be sure to subscribe to our new Rebel Canada YouTube page.